Hey guys, Tyler here. Right now, I'm going to respond to a video that I thought was just absolutely crazy. And the video I'm going to respond to is a video that was done by AG Plus, where basically somebody claimed that there is such a thing as post-traumatic slave syndrome. And this is like the biggest case of pseudoscience that I could possibly imagine right now. Now, before I respond to this video, of course, support me financially on Patreon and PayPal.com. And of course, respond to me on like the social media accounts on like Facebook, Twitter, and minds.com at Tyler Preston 20. So yeah, let's listen to the video. I'm gonna respond to the video to give my thoughts and opinions about it. So let's start.
Post-traumatic slave syndrome is an explanatory theory that really looks at multi-generational trauma.
It's kind of funny that she said that post-traumatic slave syndrome looks at like the various traumas that people experiences. However, it's kind of funny because Black people have not experienced trauma from slavery for a really long time. Like basically, slavery has been illegal in this country since like the 1860s, right? After the Civil War, we won the war, and of course, the country came back together, right? And so basically, like, of course, there are some Black people to this very day that are alive who actually experience, of course, like, segregation. But as far as Black people in this country that have experienced slavery, there's like no Black person alive right now that actually experienced slavery. And it's so funny that this video of all places is going to lecture us about like how Black people apparently experienced slavery for multiple generations, when in fact this company right now that I'm responding to, AJ Plus, actually has slaves in their country. Like basically AJ Plus is located in Qatar, and they actually do in fact have slavery, and it's kind of multi-generational. So it's kind of funny how they're going to lecture us about how we are really bad for slavery, when in fact slavery has been illegal in our country for a long time, whereas Qatar actually still has slavery. So that's kind of rich from them. Not to mention, like AG Plus actually had a video where basically it was like anti-Semitic, where they denied the Holocaust in Arabic, and of course they removed the video. And there was also another video which they state that Islam was a peaceful religion. So I'm not really surprised about this kind of propaganda. So let's continue to listen to the video. So let's go. Supposed doctor, supposed doctor. Whoever gave her that freaking degree as a doctor needs to actually get fired.
One of the things that's difficult for people is their first response is, oh my God, that happened so long ago.
Well, yeah, because basically slavery happened a long ass time ago. So how can you possibly say that Black people today experience slavery? So please enlighten us.
We're talking about people being captured, shipped, sold, beaten, raped, experimented on. And then you have to ask the question, did the trauma continue? Yes. So 300 years of trauma, no.
300 years of. Well, yeah. No. Like basic, of course, I'm not trying to deny that slavery did not in fact happen. Like slavery did in fact happen. Like basically, we did in fact slip like the slaves into our country. However, as far as like today, we have not experienced like 300 years of slavery right now. Like the Black people today have not experienced that many years of slavery. Come on, that's ridiculous.
Help freed, no help, more trauma. If it's a sustained trauma, then the impact of that is also sustained. When we look at multi-generational trauma, we're looking at people who are maybe victims of natural disasters and their families and their children, and generations of folks who have experienced war.
But there is no generation of Black people in this country that experienced slavery. So, what kind of point was that? Like all these examples, you're basically talking about like natural disasters. We're talking about slavery. Give one example of like a Black person experienced multi-generational of slavery in this country. You just can't. You just there's like no examples of this happening in this country.
And we know that there are residual mental, emotional, traumatic impact. And what I did was I started to look at the African American experience, starting with slavery, as a real clear long enduring trauma. I started to see that there were clear connections between that survival behavior and contemporary living in African American experience. I started to see common behaviors that I took for granted as well cultural. There's adaptive behaviors.
Wait. You're meaning to tell me that the main reason why Black people supposedly experience trauma from slavery today is because of adaptive behavior? Are you fucking kidding me? But please, enlighten us about this adaptive behavior that we see today. I'm kind of curious about how this is not totally crackpot, but go on.
Survival behaviors. Well, what are they? Let's just say 2019, you have a Black mother and a white mother. The sons go to school together. They find themselves at a meeting. The Black mother leans over to the white mother and says, I just wanted to mention to you that I noticed that your son is really doing quite well. And the white mother's response is, oh, thank you. She begins to go on and on about he won the science fair, his uncle's an astronaut. She's just oozing. She realizes the Black mother's son is actually excelling her son. And she says, well, wait a minute. Your son's the one that's really coming along. And the Black mother responds, oh my God, he's a handful, but oh, he just works my nerves. Now, when I'm working with African Americans.
Oh my God. You know, not all Black people are not doing really bad at school. Like, basically, there are some Black people, you know, that are actually excelling at school. So it's not just the experience of a white woman trying to, you know, have her son do well, because obviously we have celebrities that did well. We have various athletes, we have various people that did well in school. So it's not just a white thing that Black people are not, you know, doing well. It's like pretty much every individual have different kind of skill sets. So what are you talking about? Oh my God.
American people. It doesn't matter what the audience is. It doesn't matter what class. If I were to ask, is she very proud while she's saying those denigrating things? And everybody laughs and goes, of course, there's a secret. Because everybody Black knows that even though the Black mother is going, oh my God, she's really proud. So now let's roll that scene back 300 years. And let's say this Black mother is working in the fields and a white slave owner comes through and says, wow, that boy is really coming along. What is she gonna say? No, he's not. He's stupid. He's shiftless. He can't work, because I don't want you to sell him. So I denigrate them to protect them. That is called appropriate adaptation.
Okay. I don't know how to respond to this actually. What can I possibly say that could actually rebut this kind of craziness? She's actually comparing like how people, you know, are upset about their sons in the present to what they had to do to survive in the past. Like, they're like apples and oranges, dude. Like, of course, like in the past, things were like different because obviously people were slaves. Like, people today actually don't experience slavery, and so when they express like anger about their sons or daughters, obviously they're not going to be, you know, about protecting other kids, you know? Like, how is this like a comparison? Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Let's read the comments right now. What about other races who were enslaved? Do they have like PTSD? That's a good question, you know. That's a really good question. Hi, Tyler. Wish I could watch live the whole thing, but I'm working. I'm sorry you had to work right now. Okay. I know Black people in real life doing better than I am. Hashtag respect. Of course. But let's continue watching right now. All right, yeah.
When living in a hostile environment, the little white boy, say Timmy, you know, he feels really comfortable and happy about what his mom just said about him. And Trey looks at his mom and wonders, why can't you be proud of me? Because he doesn't understand the secret yet. And by the time he learns the secret, he will have already been injured by it.
You know, it's not because, oh my God, how can I explain this? Like, basically, of course, like, there are various different cultural norms, and so sometimes like people express like how they feel about their son or daughter differently than other cultures. And I think, like, for the case of, expressing concern and anger about your child, this is not because people experienced slavery in the past. Like, basically, they're probably angry about their son or daughter doing bad because basically they're not doing that well in school, and so that's why they're expressing concern. However, if somebody's child is actually succeeding in life, of course, a person will actually express, happiness about their child. Again, this has nothing to do with slavery. So, what are you talking about here? Like, this is stupid. Utterly stupid.
Post-traumatic slave syndrome.
No, post traumatic stupid disorder.
PTSD is a disorder that occurs as a result of a single trauma. You don't even have to be there to actually get a diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder. You could just hear about something horrific happening to someone you love. So you have people who have experienced it firsthand, people who have witnessed it in their environment, right? People who are continuing to be oppressed. That exacerbates any possibility of healing. So it's not.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure just by reading about the history of slavery, you can actually get PTSD. Like, really. Because
Post-traumatic stress disorder, because then it becomes part of what we call your socialization process. So you begin to normalize a way of living and being, everything from what we eat to what we believe it means to be a friend. All of these things are colored by history. And if you don't understand it, you're going to fold in things that you've just assumed are normal. But post-traumatic stress disorder, exaggerated startle response, outbursts of anger, feeling of foreshortened future. There was a point where there were African American children in different urban settings that didn't expect to live to be adults.
all these examples about like these kids experiencing like a lot of stuff, like the gang shootings and stuff, that is actually a big concern. Actually, I do agree that that's a really bad that many kids have to experience this kind of stuff, right? But as far as experiencing post-traumatic stress disorder from slavery, again, they have not experienced slavery. So the main reason why they experience this kind of stuff is again because of the violence in their neighborhood. This is completely different from like slavery, completely different. So, it's,
because they saw so much death that they started planning their funerals like at 13, 12, as young as 10. When you start looking at the
yeah, like as far as the statistics are concerned, as for like the most dangerous neighborhoods in the United States is actually like Baltimore and also Chicago. And pretty much they have shootings like on a daily basis there. And so that's probably why the kids experience this kind of stuff, but it's not because of slavery. Again, this has had to do with the present stuff, not the past stuff. So it's
the simple biology, you start looking at the impact of stress on health. And while we look at general stress, we know finances, you have illnesses, all these different things. How about being Black? How does factoring in being Black in America impact your stress level and therefore your body's ability to operate its own immune system? Because we know it compromises the immune system. Once you understand it, then you can deal with it. Because you see,
again, this whole entire civil rights movement, I do in fact agree that people were alive during that time period because I know family members who were alive in that time period who actually experienced this kind of stuff. But again, completely different. Like people, of course, experience stuff in different time zones, but there are no Black people today that experience slavery. The main reason why they're probably experiencing post-traumatic stress disorder from these kind of stuff has to do with the modern day like issues that we have. Again, not slavery. So what are you talking about? It's completely different. It's completely different.
It's habitual. You socialize. It becomes part of your being. So one of the ways you begin to address that multi-generational trauma is to work with the people it directly impacts, to hear from them. And when you give the people the information, they can use it. I think the first order of business is beginning to have a conversation. And the other is to educate the larger society. You have to stop the assault. So this is not purely a clinical thing. This requires social justice.
Of course, this requires social justice because obviously social justice do in fact fight for social justice, not actually, authoritative attitudes or PC culture. We need more social justice to solve our issues and not victimhood. Because why not?
Change. That's where part of the healing is. It's not in a clinical setting or in a pill. It's in fairness and justice and safety and equity. We got to work with some of those clinical things, some of those issues of panic and anxiety. And we also have to deal with the fact that you have a system that is set up to oppress you and to continue to injure you.
What? No, 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 no. There is no system that actually oppressed like the black people today. Like since the 1964, we had like the Civil Rights Act that basically, protect black people as equal and other minorities. So what system is there out there to actually, oppress black people? I'm kind of curious. If you're referring to the cops, like basically like the cops actually do brutality, not just towards black people, but towards anybody. As a matter of fact, I remember seeing an article that was done by the Washington Times where they basically said that white people actually experience more police brutality than black people, and that also they are also more hesitant to shoot at black people. So what kind of oppression are you talking about? Because as far as I'm concerned, there has been more discrimination against white people from different countries than it has been for black people. Like, for example, in Scotland right now, they had a meeting, like an anti-racism meeting. And what happened was that basically, like the Scottish people, the Scottish people there were discriminated for being white there. And of course, like the people of color had to speak and not the white guys in Scotland. And of course, like there are various like these events of these anti-racist stuff where they don't invite the white people there. There's also the SAT scores where basically they discriminate against like the white people and the Chinese people because of their race, and it actually gives more points to the black people because apparently like the black people actually score less than the white people and the Chinese people and the Asian people. And so basically, I think there is some sort of, discrimination against like the white people and against like the Asian people. But as far as oppression is concerned about black people, we don't have any sort of oppression to actually put us down in this country. I don't think so.
Both those things have to be dealt with. And it cannot singularly by themselves affect a change. They have to be done collectively.
Okay, guys, so that's the video that I responded to. My final thoughts about this whole entire video. This video was just absolutely terrible. It's kind of self-evident to tell people that, of course, like black people cannot experience slavery when they don't actually have experienced slavery in the present day. Like, I don't understand why there are some people like her who push these ideas about like black people experienced slavery after slavery ended. It's just stupid. It's just ridiculous. But what do you guys think about this whole entire video? Tell me in the comment section down below. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.